And we're back in session 10 of week number 5, and this time I did remember to turn my phone down. Sorry about that last time. Let's take a look at what we have to do for session 10. I think you'll see this week's not too bad. We're going to jump into the session 10 folder and see what we have to do there. Because we're coming off a holiday weekend, you might be wondering how long before I read your second essay and get a grade in. Probably in the next day or so. Again, this is being recorded on Monday, July the 6th, so by July 8th, everything should be in. Don't worry about it. Okay, there's the session 10 overview and the learning activities. Chapter 6, examining causes and effects. And chapter 26, don't you like how this class jumps around in the textbook, avoiding common problems in style and grammar. There are 3 supplemental resources: the grammar activity, links to Purdue OWL. If you haven't checked out Purdue OWL, even if you think you don't need it, go ahead and look there. Just Google Purdue OWL, which stands for Online Writing Lab. If you ever have a question about MLA, you will find an answer there. 1 supplemental PowerPoint on principles of peer response. That one might be a repeat. I think we may have seen that one once before. And then assignments and assessments, finishing up discussion board 9 and 10. There's a short grammar quiz on word choice and style, which is pretty easy. And then writing project 3, peer response. We'll be turning in the final draft of writing project 3 next week. So for this week, we're just concerned with getting the draft in, getting some feedback from me, getting some feedback from the other folks in the class. Not too hateful. So let's take a look at the learning activities. Of course, there's the textbook and the 2 chapters that you have to read. Here is the supplemental resource, the practice grammar activity, because there's a grammar quiz in this one. If you take the practice activity, you're going to do great on the quiz, and most everyone has so far in the class. I don't think the quizzes are too hard. If I were designing this course, I probably wouldn't include any, but I didn't, so I can't. If you can't Google Purdue OWL, which of course you can, there's a link. And then supplemental PowerPoint on principles of peer response. Again, for session 10, this is not too bad. If this were a 16-week course, you'd be looking at this saying, I could practically take the week off. But you won't. All right, let's take a look at assignments and assessments. Not a lot of points available this week. That's okay. All right, I would go in and show you the discussion board, but because of when this is being recorded, nobody has gone into the discussion board, so I can't really show you any there. We did talk about this in the previous video in session 9 about warming up the audience. Once you make your initial post based on our discussion of session 9, you're going to want to read to and give that writer some analysis. Talk about their choice of audience and how effectively they have appealed to each specific audience. Provide suggestions about appealing to that audience. You might be a member of the audience this person is writing for, and you can tell them how they could better tailor their message. Offer suggestions for a different audience, maybe something they haven't considered. You might have some insight there. And offer suggestions for improving the language to better appeal to a diverse audience. Again, you're going to write 2 posts, 100 words each for a 200-word total. Everyone's been really good about hitting the word count. I'm not concerned about that. Here is the grammar exercise. I'm not going to open it now, but once you do the practice version, jump straight into this. You'll do great on it. And then writing project 3, peer response, which is a discussion board. I won't open it because there's nothing there so far, but here are the instructions. As it mentions in class session 9, the drafts were posted. Read as many drafts as you can. but you only have to respond to 2. If you start reading and you find 2 you like right off the bat, then you're done. If you read 2 and it doesn't really appeal to you, keep going. Find 2 you like. If you see somebody that doesn't have any feedback and others do, then go to the one that doesn't have feedback. That way everybody is getting some oversight. And then once you have selected the 2 you want to write about, respond to 6, not all, 6 of the 8 questions listed below. Analyze the thesis statement, analyze the draft's explanations of the topic, analyze how the draft accomplishes its purpose, analyze the focus of the draft, analyze the draft's organization, analyze how the author describes and illustrates information and ideas about the topic. This is a big one. Analyze the draft's appeal to the audience. If you were that audience, does it speak to you? Does it want to make you take notice? I don't think I said that right, but you could get what I mean. And then lastly, and I think this was as important, I'd like to see everybody touch on this if you can, analyze the objectivity of the draft. As we've been talking before, in writing Project 3, you're not expressing personal opinion. You're never using the words I think, I believe, etc. What you're saying is, for this group of people, the following information should be made clear. And you're citing other sources. You're not giving the audience what you think. You're telling them what you found. And then post your response. As it mentions, respond to 2. Post them as a reply to the thread. Answer 6 of the 8 questions. I guess you could do all 8 if you really wanted to, but why would you? And write at least 200 words per response. And there is the rubric for the responses. I'm sure everybody will do great in this one. So kind of short and sweet. Now that I look at this, I notice in the announcement it says 100 original words, 200 words total. I think on the sheet I just showed you it said 200 words per response. Because those are in conflict, we're going to go with what it says here on the announcement and have you write 100 words per response. More if you'd like, but let's go with 200 words total. So 100 words per response, 2 responses, 200 total. Forget what the sheet said. Alright, jump back into class session 10 and see if we've discussed everything. I believe we have, but it doesn't hurt to look. You know, we're getting close to the end of class. We're more than halfway done. And I think it's going well, and I hope everyone else is as excited as I am to see the end coming closer. It's been a good class. So, 2 chapters in the text, 3 supplemental resources. Again, supplemental, do them if you'd like. If I were you, I would absolutely do the practice grammar activity and then jump straight into the quiz. Writing Project 3 peer response, and finishing off the discussion of warming up the audience with 2 responses. 100 words minimum per response. And I think we have covered everything for session 10. Today is Monday, July the 6th. Your assignments for session 7 and 8 are not due until 11:59 tonight, although a lot of you have turned them in already. We're going to get back on schedule and make sure that you have everything turned in as of Sunday, July the 12th at 11:59 p.m. for sessions 9 and 10. If you have questions, reach out to me. 812-498-4200 is my text number. Just make sure you tell me who you are. 800-416-1747 if you want to talk with me. And email mstenger and the number 1 at ivytech.edu. Reach out to me if you need to. Other than that, have a great week, everybody. I'll talk to you soon.